very much interested to see our videos, just as you were very keen to see the first video, isn't it? I was very happy to see some of you in video call, and it gave me positive vibes to continue my session. Be cautious while using the mobile phones. Remove the charger while using the phone. Okay, and take a break in between the videos. Now back to our class. In the previous class, we have learned on series and parallel connection, isn't it? Can you tell me the difference between series and parallel connection? Yes, in series connection, effective resistance increases, isn't it? So if you want to have more resistance, you have to connect the resistors in series. Okay, so the first difference is in series connection, resistance is more, whereas in parallel connection, effective resistance decreases. Okay, the next one, in series connection, voltage is different, whereas in parallel connection, voltage is same. Then what about current? In series connection, current is same, whereas in parallel connection, current is different. And the last one, in series connection, it cannot be controlled by separate switches, whereas in parallel connections, we can use separate switches. That is why we are using parallel connection in our houses. All these things we have discussed in the last class. Now, can you recall the formulas for finding out the resistance in series and parallel? Yes. Tell me, in series connection, how will you find out the effective resistance? R is equal to R1 plus R2. Okay, what about in parallel connection? R is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Are you remembering these things? Then there is one more formula to find out the effective resistance in parallel connection. Can anybody recall that? 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay, then we have discussed about finding out the resistance if all the resistors are having the same value. ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിലുള്ള റെസിസ്റ്റേഴ്സിന് എല്ലാം ഒരേ വാല്യൂ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ വെറുതെ R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 ചെയ്യേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ അതിനെ നമ്മൾ എന്തായിരുന്നു ഫോർമുല പറഞ്ഞത്? ഇൻ സീരീസ് കണക്ഷൻ R is equal to R into N. Okay, what does this small letter R represent? It represents the value of resistance and N is the number of resistors. Okay, for example, you are having 2 ohm resistors. You are having 10 2 ohm resistors. Then how will you find out? 10 into 2, which is equal to 20 ohm. Okay, and what about in parallel connection? R is equal to R by N. R is equal to R by N, where R is the resistance and N is the number of resistors. You are having, same way you are having 10 resistors of 2 ohm. Then how will you find out? 2 by 10 is equal to 0.2. So all these things we have discussed in the last class. Now it's time to do problems. Are you ready to do the problems? Okay, get ready. Okay. Now the first question. See, what is the current if 4 ohm and 2 ohm resistors are connected in series and 6 volt potential differences applied? So, whenever you get a question, just read the question nicely and write down what all values are given there. Okay, so see here what all values are given. 4 ohm and 2 ohm resistors. What is this 4 ohm and 2 ohm? They are the resistances. And how will you represent resistance? By the letter R. So here 2 resistance are given. So we can represent it as R1 is equal to 4 ohm connected in series and 6 volt potential difference. What is this potential difference? Yes, voltage. So which is the letter used to represent voltage? V. So we can write V is equal to 6 volt. Okay, so this much things are given in the question. And what you have to find out here? You have to find out the current. Like, what is the current? So which is the letter used to denote current? I. So you have to find out I. You have studied the formula for finding out current, isn't it? What is I according to Ohm's law? I is equal to V by R. So already V is given here. 6 volt is given. And you have to find out the effective resistance. So how will you find out the effective resistance? So before finding out, you have to see whether they are connected in series or parallel. Okay, so tell me how these resistors are connected here. They are connected in series. So what is the formula to find out the effective resistance in series? Yes, R is equal to R1 plus R2. Very easy, just to add, isn't it? So find out. R1 is 4. 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6 ohm. So you got the effective resistance as 6 ohm. Now we can find out the current, isn't it? I is equal to V by R. How much is V here? 6. 6 by resistance also 6, which is equal to 1 ampere. Understood how to find out the current? So in this case, you have to find out the total resistance. And while finding out the total resistance, you have to see whether they are connected in series or parallel. That is the only thing you have to listen while doing the problem. Is it clear? Now, shall we do one more problem? Now, look at the second question. What is the current if 12 ohm and 4 ohm resistors are connected in parallel and 12 volt potential differences occur? So what you have to do now? You have to write out the values given in the question. Okay. So here R1 is given. How much is R1? 12 ohm. Okay. Then R2. How much is R2? 4 ohm. Then what is given? Another thing. 12 volt potential difference. Potential difference V is equal to 12 volt. Okay, then what is the question? What do you have to find out here? You have to find out the current. And you know the formula for finding out current? I is equal to V by R. Same as the previous question, you have to find out the effective resistance. So in this case, how will you find out the effective resistance? You have to see whether it is connected in series or parallel. Just look at the question, how they are connected. They are connected in parallel, isn't it? So what is the formula to find out the effective resistance? R is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay. Now we can substitute the values. How much is R1? R1 is equal to 12 ohm. 12 into R2. 4. 12 into 4 by 12 plus 4. What is 12 into 4? You are thorough with the multiplication table? It's 48 by 16. What is 48 by 16? It is 3 ohm. So you got the effective resistance as 3 ohm. Now it is very easy to find out current, isn't it? You have to just substitute in the formula. I is equal to V by R, which is equal to, how much is V? Tell me. Yes, 12. 12 by 3, which is equal to 4 ampere. Okay, it is equal to 4 ampere. Is it clear? So, this is how you have to solve problems. So, whenever you get a question, Just read the question thoroughly and you have to see and you have to write what all things are given in that question and write down the formulas and substitute. In case of finding the resistance, you have to see whether the resistance are connected in series or parallel. Till this time we were speaking about resistance, isn't it? What is the function of resistor? The function of resistor is to control the flow of current to other devices. For example, if you are connecting an LED, what happens if more current flows through an LED? Do you know? It will be destroyed. So, in that case, we will be connecting the resistors to control the flow of current, thus preventing it from damage. Okay? So, how to find out the value of resistance? That is the question. I am giving you a resistor and I am asking you to find out the value of that resistor. How will you find out? See, look at the resistor. There are some colored rings around it. You can see 4 colors, isn't it? In that, first 2 color indicates the digits. First 2 color indicates the digits and the second color indicates the number of zeros. Okay, and the last one indicates the deviation. That is, it may be plus or minus. Difference will be there. Plus or minus 10 or 10 plus or minus 5% difference will be there. Okay, so that is how or this is a method to find out the resistance of a resistor. Look at this table. You can see the colors and their number and the number of zeros. Which is the first color? It is black. Second one, black, the number of zeros 0, 0. Then next comes brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey and white. And correspondingly the number and the number of zeros are also given. So, if you are given a resistor, how will you find out the value of that resistance? You have to look at the color. But for knowing that resistance, we have to know these colors in order, isn't it? Sometimes if the colors are interchanged, the values will be changing, isn't it? So, in order to remember these colors in order, I will give you a mnemonic. Okay, one easy method to find out the color. What is that? Black, brown, red, orange, yellow, isn't it? For that, I am telling B.B. Roy of Great Britain had a very good wife. Okay, B.B. Roy of Great Britain had a very good wife. B.B. Roy of Great Britain had a very good wife. Okay, so if you remember this slide, you will be able to find out the colors. What is that? B.B. Roy of Great Britain had a very good wife. First, B represents black. Then brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey and white. Okay, so we can write like this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and the third one represents the number of zeros. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, if you are given a resistor, by looking at the color, you can find out the value of resistance. Okay, now I will give you a picture of a resistor. You have to find out the value of that resistor. Okay, look at that figure. Yes. What is the first color in that? It is red, isn't it? So, red. You have to write which digit? 2. Red represents 2. Second color is violet. So, how much is violet? 7. Then third color is orange. Orange, third digit represents the number of zeros. So how many zeros we have to put for orange? 3 zeros. So 3 is 0. And you can see one more color there, isn't it? You can see a golden color. And the fourth color I have told, fourth color represents the deviation. Okay, fourth color represents the deviation. And if it is silver, you have to write plus or minus 10%. For gold, it is plus or minus 5%. And if there is no color, it will be plus or minus 20%. So in this figure, you are having a golden color, isn't it? So you have to write plus or minus 5%. This much ohm. So the value of this resistor is 27,000 ohm, or it is 27 kilo ohm. Okay, is it clear? Now we can move on to the next topic, heating effect of electricity. And we can study some of the instruments and their uses. Okay, heating effect of heating effect of electricity. Can you tell me what are electric heating appliances? These are devices which make use of the heating effect of electric current. Okay, that is, there are some devices which make use of the heating effect. Such devices are known as electric heating appliances. Okay, that is, in these devices, electricity or electrical energy is converted into heat energy. So can you name some of the devices? Yes, iron box. There we are using the heating effect, isn't it? Next comes electric heater. Have you seen electric heater? For cooking purposes and all, we used to use that. Electric heater, then electric water heater, soldering iron, for soldering things we use soldering irons. So all these devices make use of the heating effect of electric current. Okay, so first we will study about the electric heater. Okay, what is the important part of an electric heater? You might have seen a coil in that. That is known as the heating coil. Okay, so the main part of an electric heater is heating coil. Heating coil. Okay, so in this heating coil, this electrical energy gets converted into heat energy. Is it clear? So the important part of an electric heater is heating coil, and it is the part where electrical energy is converted into heat energy. Okay, so can you guess which material is used to make this part? You have studied that in the first class. I have told you about one wire. Anybody is remembering that it becomes red hot when current passes through it? While discussing Joule's law, I have mentioned that. Anybody is remembering that? Yes, it is nichrome. Okay, so heating coil is made of nichrome. Nichrome. Okay, and this nichrome is an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron. This nichrome is an alloy. അതായത് മൂന്നെണ്ണം കൂടി ചേർന്നതാണ് ഈ നിക്രോം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Okay, what is that? It is nickel, chromium and iron. And what is the reason for using this nichrome as the heating coil? It should have some advantages, isn't it? For using it as heating coil. Can you tell me the properties of nichrome? Or which all properties helps nichrome to use as a heating coil? Can you tell me? First one, it is having high melting point. High melting point in the sense? It will not melt fastly. That is, the melting point of nichrome is 1400 degree. Okay, 1400. That shows for nichrome to melt, it should reach a temperature of 1400. Is it clear? So that is the first property of nichrome. It is having high melting point. And second one, high resistivity. It has high resistance. That is why it is becoming hot. Isn't it? So the second one is high resistivity. Okay. And the third one, it has the ability to retain in red hot condition without undergoing oxidation. You know, when current passes through the nichrome wire, what will happen to the nichrome wire? It becomes red hot. Isn't it? So it can remain in that red hot condition for a long time. Red hot it will not undergo oxidation. Is it clear? These properties makes nichrome to be used as heating coil. So once again, tell me what are the properties of nichrome? It is having high melting point. Second one, it has high resistivity. And the third one, it has the ability to retain in the red hot condition for a long time without getting oxidized. Okay, so these properties make nichrome to be used as heating coil. Is it clear? Okay. Now, there are some devices in which there is no heating coil, but they make use of the heating effect of electric current. Can you guess such devices? Heating effect of electric current is used, but there is no heating coil. It will be there in your houses. One is microwave oven. Next is induction cooker. Can you see the heating coil in those devices? No, but they use of the heating effect. So, take the case of microwave oven. Here, instead of heating coil, how this electrical energy is converted into heat energy? It uses microwaves. Okay, microwave oven uses microwaves to convert electrical energy to heat energy. Okay, and take the second case. What is that? Induction cooker. Okay, in that case, we use eddy currents. What is that? Eddy currents. What is this eddy currents? That is, eddy currents are produced due to the changing magnetic field. Okay, due to the change in the magnetic field, current is produced, and all those things you will be discussing in the next classes. Okay, or in the next chapters. Actually, just remember this word eddy current. You don't have to study about eddy current in details. Okay, so in the case of induction cooker, their electrical energy is converted into heat energy by using eddy currents. Is it clear? Hope you all have understood the concept we have discussed today. Work out the problems that we have done today. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Study all the formulas and I will be asking you in the next class. Okay, see you all in the next class with a new topic. Bye.